What up? What up? What up? What up, everybody? Tonight, we have TWG Fan Club. Uh, Tonight, it'll be Justin and I, and we will bring on our fill-in guest co-host. But first, before we get started, we want to send all love to Queen PR and Seindole B in their absence. We love y'all, and we can't wait to be with y'all here next week. But most importantly, also, we can't wait to be with y'all on the anniversary of TWG, which all early bird tickets are sold out. But before we get into the check-ins, Justin,
Yo,
you feeling good today, my brother?
I am feeling fantastic. The champions. God, I love me some Champions League. It's just when your team wins a big game, it just puts you just in the right moods. And I just love that Champions League is usually Tuesday and Wednesday. So it's just like my team played earlier, they got the dub, and then we sliding in for fan club with you beautiful, illustrious people in the chat. And I get to see Brian too. I mean, boom.
Wow.
And on top of that, Philly took a L in the NLCS.
Yeah, we would definitely have to talk baseball soon. But you know what? I hear some music. So that can only mean one thing, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome all the way from Brooklyn, New York, the one and only Miss CRISTA B.
Brooklyn.
See, you know it's always precious when you're introducing a host who always does hosting and introducing. CRISTA, how you feeling?
I'm good. I'm good. I am good. Thank you for having me. Of course, I wasn't gonna say no. Of course, I gotta, hold it down for my better half, Miss Queen PR, and for Seindole, who are literally doing things, handling their business, and I'm here, so I'm good.
Yeah, we want to give a shout out to the chat as Queen PR say. Now the show can truly begin with a hey Rakasha.
Yeah, we see
Hey,
Rakasha.
Rakasha.
And shout out to Keith in the building. So we are here, CRISTA.
Yes.
We are less than 14 days away.
We are less than 2 weeks away. I myself thought I had an extra week. Hey, Professor
I ain't gonna
Trell.
lie. I thought I did too.
I thought I had an extra week, and I'm like, yo, I gotta find my outfit. I gotta get my hair done, and
You
then I
got
look,
10 days. Well,
and then
technically
I
9
look,
because Saturday's just beyond like packed.
right, and then I look, and I said, oh snap, no, it's literally next week. This is why I hate when a month ends like in the middle of the week. It kind of just throws like answer because October ends on Tuesday or Wednesday, and then you have like it right there. So I mean, it's whatever. We're gonna have fun. TWG turns 5, you guys. I can't believe this literally feels like a baby. Like, oh my god, my baby is 5. Like, so I am
5
very, very happy.
years old. Well, as we mentioned earlier,
Early
the
bird tickets
anniversary.
are on.
Yeah, early bird tickets, so $20.
Yep.
$20. The HQ Lounge.
It's
Where
official HQ Lounge, 1609 Nostrand Avenue. Um, come to my part of the hood. Come to my neck of the woods. Literally, it's down the block from my house, which I love. It's also a Black-owned business. It's a family Black-owned business, which I love.
one time for the family.
One time for the family, yes. Definitely Black-owned business, and we have a drink sponsor, Duke and Dane, which is also a Black-owned business, which I cannot wait for you guys to try, because I know I come on here and I talk about Duke and Dane all the time. I know I'm over here showing y'all the whiskey and showing y'all like how it looks and describing the taste, and now y'all can actually taste it. And we know I'm not a liar, so I'm not gonna lie about that. But yes, it's absolutely gonna be amazing. I got some special surprises for P, of course, for everybody. Hopefully, we gonna come out and turn up and have a good time. I can't wait. Can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's I always think about the 3rd anniversary. That's the first time I met Justin. I remember we was like texting on Twitter. I was like, all right, let me get your number. And then boom, we meet at the anniversary. And obviously meeting y'all for the first time, it's always a vibe. It takes me back. And last year, a movie. You know what? It was such a movie.
Oh
We
Lord.
usually go to break, but we gotta just do this real quick. Yeah, definitely.
Wow. I don't even think I was there for this shot. I don't know. At that point though, I don't think I even needed any more drinks.
Apologies to Rey Mysterio.
Right. Apologies. We love you, Ray. But thank you for playing that video because Colton is actually coming back to do Colton Show again this year.
Oh,
yes. You can redeem yourself, Justin. You can redeem yourself for Rey Mysterio. We have the Colton Show.
Oh no, I'm good. Whoever said in their drunken ass state, yo, I want hands with Brock Lesnar because Brock can't box. Like that's the one that needs redemption.
That was Shawn. But Wilkins kind of, defended him, saying that boxing Brock Lesnar is trash, but wrestling he's wilding.
I'm not saying that to Brock, even if it's true. I've met Brock Lesnar. I've shook his hand. They're not.
Brock eats babies.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, if we want to put it that way. Anyway, y'all better pop out November 4th. The link to the tickets is in our bio.
Yep.
Please, they're $20 right now because you will be paying more at the door. I'm sorry, early birds are gone. I have some special surprises, hopefully I have some special guests roll through, and don't ask me who it is. Don't put it in the comments. Don't guess because I'm not telling. And we're going to have a good time. We're going to vibe out. And my entire family is coming, you guys.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I finally get to meet the brother I'm always talking about who put me on to The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh man, that is going to be something.
It's gonna be
so
fun.
Wait, he's team
Stone Cold.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, he's team Stone Cold.
Just like you, right?
Yeah, right. Let's
I don't know, KRISTA. I heard that you knew like all the words to like one of Austin's promos or something.
I don't know all the words to Austin's promo. What I do know is that I love the infamous supermarket scene with Booker T and Stone Cold. And of course, at the end, when he threw him on the ramp and he was like, need a price check on the jackass. Store. Like, who don't know that? That is literally one of my favorite.
I'm glad you brought that up. That reminds me, I gotta send that video to my god brother. We was talking about it. So is it almost?
Yo, maybe who knows? You just gotta show and bring your friends too. And thank you, Vaughn. I appreciate it.
But man, let's before we matter of fact, because we got the anniversary coming up. Last night, Halloween Havoc. Now, KRISTA, I know you ain't really vibe with WCW like that back in the day. No. But were you familiar with like Halloween Havoc? Did you ever check it out?
I knew what Halloween Havoc was. I knew, because this wasn't the first one in NXT.
But
I knew what Halloween Havoc was back in the day in the 90s or whatever. Did I watch it? However, no, because I felt like and I'm always going to stand by this. I felt like WCW was, the second rate, like where all the retirees, if you will, went to, because it was just like they wanted to wrestle and Vince was putting his foot down and saying no. So I've never watched Halloween Havoc, but I did know what it was. I was very familiar with the pay-per-view, so I knew what it was.
That's one of the ones I was happy that NXT took. That the Great American Bash, to be honest with you, I could live without, whatever. I know WWE had it for a while. They did a house show for Starrcade, which I really wish they would have used Starrcade the way it is, but understanding they don't want nothing to outshine none of their big four. Right. But I was happy they did use Halloween Havoc. Last night, main event, Lyra Valkyrie defeats Becky Lynch to become the NXT women's champion. But that was all good and fine. An incredible match. But the best thing about that also, we got to see Jade Cargill.
You got to see Jade.
God damn, she fine. Like Brandon Phillips, bruh, you won in life. She came out and it was just like,
she commands the room without a shadow of a doubt. She commands the room. I was very happy to see her there. I think we're at the point with her that it's like we're on J watch.
Yeah.
Where is she signing? And honestly, I wouldn't be mad if she went to NXT because I don't look at NXT, and people may disagree with me. I think this rendition of storytelling in NXT is better than what Kevin Owens, Adam Cole, Four Horsewomen were doing.
Yeah.
They were doing everything well. The in-ring stuff and the storylines was well, but I think they walked. So this team, even though a couple other teams didn't do a lot, and it was, it went through some ugly transitions. But it's like once Triple H, the Click got their hands back on it, now these kids are running, and it feels like a different brand. Are they on the same level as a Raw SmackDown? No, not yet. But it feels like, I've said it before, I feel like it's bigger than AEW.
It is. I feel like I agree. NXT is definitely bigger than AEW, and I do agree with the fact, like you're saying, like the first class, the Four Horsewomen class, Adam Cole and whatever. They were doing things that we haven't seen from women do in a really long time, or have never seen them do in the WWE setting. So when they were doing it, we were definitely, it was like we tasted like a new candy or something, and we just had to have it. We was really loving it. And then as it went through its transition, it was like, right, this candy is getting boring, it's getting stale, like give me something new. And now that we have this, now we got to see Charlotte go back and win NXT championship. We got to see Becky go back and win a women NXT championship. And now that, like you said, we're on Jade watch, it just ups the ante on like what's next. Like, how can we make this even better for when SmackDown comes around on Friday, when Monday Night Raw comes back around on Monday, when NXT comes around on Tuesday? Like, where's Jade really gonna go? Although I think she signed to Raw.
You think so?
I think I've heard that she's going to Raw. I'm gonna put her and Bianca in the same space. Not right now.
I can definitely agree with that part. Unless you want to build that tag division.
I mean, I would. Okay, so here's where the
less than 10 matches.
For me, here's where the stereotype kind of lies. When you have two strong women teaming up with each other, I mean, it's going to be a stereotype when they're forced to go against each other. So either way, it's like a double-edged sword. You're not really winning. Yeah, they could dominate as a tag team champ, as a tag team, and win the championships, because no shade, no tea to Chelsea and Piper, but what y'all doing?
I like them.
Then again, you gotta throw Chelsea and Piper some bail because they don't got many toys to play with. You look at like Liv Morgan's injured. A lot of your other women, they're entangled with Rhea Ripley and going after that title. So it's not really like you have tag teams outside of Kaden and Katana, and there's only so many times you can pull them up for a match. Otherwise, you don't have any depth in the tag team division.
So let them do what Sasha and Bayley was doing. Go to every brand. Go to NXT. Go, like, they're not like, yeah, I'm throwing them a bone for the people on the main roster, but you got a whole fresh class of NXT people who are hungry to even get a shot at this, and they're not doing much of anything.
And that's what I thought the point for those belts was.
Me too.
When they merged them, was so that they could go on different shows. But
then again, I can see why they don't do it, because if you look at it from this perspective, like WWE already has a hectic roster. Like, let's say you just do Raw, right? You do Raw, you do the live shows, and if there's a pay-per-view. But then if you're also popping over to SmackDown, that means you got to pull up on Friday. If that means you're also got to go to NXT and wrestle someone, then you also got to pull up on Tuesday. When do you have any time for like an off day? And usually if you're wrestling that much, that frequently, there's also a high risk of injury, because all it takes is one missed bump, one mistimed thing, and all of a sudden, boom, now they're on the shelf. But if one person's on the shelf and you're a tag team, now both of you are technically on the shelf. You see what happens with New Day when Kofi's injured. you don't see Woods on TV, and vice versa, unless
That's
it's like
not
something in
true.
singles.
That's not true because Sonya Deville was injured and Piper came and took the belt and became a champion. She didn't fight for that.
Well,
Piper was
that was one where they pivoted really quickly with
right.
Chelsea.
And I feel like with the New Day,
Mm-hmm.
they do hold their own, but it was at one point where they were both injured at the same time. So it's not that you couldn't see one on TV without the other. They were legitimately out. They were both injured. Woods wasn't as bad as Kingston, but they were definitely injured. But back to what you were saying about putting or having them wrestle too many times on scheduling. You have to schedule. Like, it's not going to be okay. They're going to be on SmackDown. They're going to be on NXT. They're going to be on Raw consistently. You can have 2-week, 3-week gaps. Like, let them have a contenders match. Let them do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Build a story.
it's not like how it was when we were actually watching it back then, when we saw them every day or every 2 days or whatever, and they on the road and they really wearing themselves out fighting through their injuries. I feel like they're very much more careful now than what they were then.
Yeah, that's certainly true. Um, just to real quick about Halloween Havoc, we definitely had some shoot, I just drew a blank. We definitely had Lola Vice and Kalani Jordan advance in the tournament, the breakout tournament. That is your finals. I'm
Called
excited.
it.
I like the breakout tournaments because it's kind of like that up next thing, right? You got the up next show. We're watching a lot of these men and ladies go through school. If you choose to watch up next one, Peacock, that's fine. If you don't, you see them when they get the NXT. But we're watching them learn on the job, and then like I've been watching Kalani Jordan, obviously through Dana Brooke. Shout out to Dana Brooke for all the stuff. We was very, very vocal about giving her flowers right here on TWG Fan Club. But I hated the fact that she got released while this story was going. It's like all this time you doing all these releases. You never released her when she wasn't involved in the story. Now she's in the story, she gets released. But at the end of the day, we seeing Kalani Jordan swim. She could have sank or swim. She's swimming. I think that's going to be good. Roxanne Perez and Kiana James opened the show with an incredible lights out match.
She put a speed knot, Kiana James, right? If I'm not mistaken, she
I
caught
think
She probably
it's a
did.
titty on her head
she did.
with the nipple, because it's like the knot and then it's like a hole like right in the center. I'm serious,
No,
this she got a titty. She got a titty on her head with the nipple.
yeah. And shout out to Noah. That's his favorite thing about NXT. You get to see developmentals develop.
That's
Um,
true. That's
yeah.
valid.
And it's the WWE style, right? I want to ask y'all this real quick. I'm gonna
Mhm.
jump off subject. I'm gonna jump into somebody that's rumored to be WWE is rumored to be interested in. Very, very interested in. You might know who I'm talking about. Will Ospreay. Do you put him on NXT?
Yes. Yes. Absolute yes. Yes. After watching his match
Mm-hmm.
at
Bound for Glory.
yes. Yes. We put him in NXT. Give that man as much freedom
Mm-hmm.
as he can most possibly have, and let that man be great. Like, he is main roster ready, but I feel like they're gonna pigeonhole him and they're not gonna know what to do with him. Because Ricochet had all the promise when he was at NXT. He was amazing. He did all these whatever. He come to the main roster, and then it was just like he
He
got
was
something to go
successful
with.
though.
Huh?
I understand where you're going with Ricochet, but it went from here. Like he went from just being that good match guy, right? Intercontinental champion. Let's get the belt off him, giving it to Gunther. But now he's in we're seeing him in stories finally.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they're doing things good with him now, like storyline wise, and that's what I feel they're gonna lose with Will Ospreay. Like, we wouldn't know what his storyline would be, how it would be, like what the creative would be, and we've all seen people come up, be called to the main roster, and they doing well in NXT, and then they get lost in the shuffle, and then ultimately they're let go. I definitely forgot about Katana and Kaden. So you just said something.
I'll say this: that they and Justin, I'll definitely get you in there real quick. I'm looking at things, believe it or not, with my WWE rose-colored glasses. I'm looking at things from a different light now. And I don't like to jump into comparing the head of creatives, but I feel like with Will Ospreay, the biggest thing is I don't think the WWE universe would know who he is. Because we got to remember, I would say over 50% of them only watch WWE.
That's true.
As far as the live crowd, right?
That's true.
And so that's why I think like AJ Styles said it.
I was about to say, I was like that with AJ Styles. Like, I was like, who's this? But somehow some people knew him, and some people
why though? What's the difference between him and say Will Ospreay? AJ Styles, as much as we like to rag on TNA, AJ Styles had commercial success. TNA at one point, when they was the clear cut number 2, they had the video games. They were on. They had the toys. So it was a lot of stuff that he was familiar. The American audience was like familiar with him, right? Like this is the best example. All right, let me take you back to 12, 11-year-old KRISTA, right? You knew who Ric Flair was, right? Now I'm assuming that in 92 you wasn't. In 93 you wasn't watching wrestling.
I was 3.
Right. So, but by the time when you was, watching, Ric Flair hadn't stepped foot in WWE yet, but you knew who he was. So, like,
no, I didn't know. I'm lying. I did not know who.
What about Sting?
I knew who Sting was because of my friends who, when we were like 4, 5, 6, 7, like they had the toys. They had WCW toys.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say was, I knew who Hogan was around 3, 4, because Hogan around that time was in major movies. He was like all over TV movie wise. I didn't know he was a wrestler until he came back, and I'm like, hold on, this Hogan from these fighting movies and whatnot and all that. Like they was like, yeah, he started out as a wrestler. Like he was a wrestler.
You're the first person I've ever heard say that.
She said fight movies. I immediately thought of Suburban Commando.
Right,
if
like
you know, you know.
Yo, shout out to my god brother watching. She just says Sting the GOAT. It's funny, real quick. Tonight, AEW, Sting is getting a major gift from a historical gift from Tony Khan. Sting announced his retirement. He was retiring in 2024. Y'all got any ideas what you think that gift might be? I think Tony Khan might offer him a piece of the company.
I don't know. It's Tony Khan, so anything goes with that man.
I have the slightest idea. I don't know.
That's just funny though. I've never heard nobody say they didn't know Hogan was a wrestler. And then, but you would look at people. Well, you wouldn't now, but like back in the day, you probably look like, let's say 15 years ago, somebody said, I know The Rock was a wrestler.
Oh, I'm looking at you stupid. Stupid. Because what?
I don't know. I see more. I think people say
15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was, in my teens. Even saying that sounds crazy. Sheesh.
But 15 years ago is fair though, because think about that. You're talking about 2005. You have the internet in full swing. You have the creation of, your message boards, your Black Planets, Mijantes, and stuff like that. You see the
you said Black Planet.
The development of Facebook comes in 2005. You have AOL Instant Messenger, MSN Messenger. You have now people having cell phones and the flip phones and the first iterations of the smartphones, and where people are more outside and more active and stuff like that. So with The Rock is like,
knew The Rock was a wrestler. You knew that when this was still around a time where he was making his appearances, he was still having matches in WWE. So even if it was broadcast on TV, especially because when we were 15 years ago, SmackDown used to come on UPN Channel 9 up here. So you had the commercials for SmackDown to come on. Everybody knew it, and Rock would be plastered everywhere. So 15 years ago, That's wild. Like if it's a child, say like right now who was in the same predicament as me,
That's
like
what I'm comparing to.
yes, then I want to look
Okay.
at you stupid. I'm like, yeah, no, he was a wrestler. But if you my age and a little bit younger, or my age and better, and you saying that, I'm looking at you dumb, dumb as hell, dumb as
Yeah.
hell. Yeah,
Wow, that's
people
interesting.
didn't know that Debo. I didn't know that Debo was a wrestler either. I didn't know he was in WWE.
Yeah.
I thought that Debo was just in Friday and on other sitcoms. And then when he passed away, I had to write about him. I'm like, hold on, he was a wrestler? Went back. He had a little Mr. T thing going on up here.
Yeah. Well, I knew just from buying like the SummerSlam anthology set. And I was like, oh, or and just doing like that type of research. But yeah, Justin, your thoughts, Will Ospreay?
See, you guys are saying so. You guys already touched on a couple of things that I would have went on, but using the AJ Styles part of it is why I think you put him on the main roster, and I think he will succeed because as much like Ricochet is a good comparison, but here's the difference between Will Ospreay and Ricochet. Ricochet can't cut promos. Ricochet's never been a good person on the mic, whereas Will Ospreay has gotten much better at that to where Will Ospreay can get on a mic and do the damn thing. We also have this thing called the internet, so you go back to when Ricochet was blowing up and people were pulling up his matches. Who was he having those matches with? Will Ospreay. They broke the internet with their Best of the Super Juniors matches and stuff like that. Will Ospreay has also become that guy in New Japan. He's also come over to AEW and wrestle some matches in AEW. So now you have people in the United States who are more familiar with Will Ospreay, and he has a style that's going to stand out a lot more on that main roster. Brian touched on there's a difference in creative. And that's going to be the main difference because if this was Vince McMahon running things, then Will Ospreay needs to go straight to NXT because Vince wouldn't know what the fuck to do with him except, oh, cool, he's another flippy guy. Cool, I'm going to stick you here, mid card, maybe put like an IC title, US title, maybe put you with a tag team, you and Ricochet can tag team. But as far as like the main event scene, like not even close. But Trips knows exactly what to do with those type of people. And you
Let me ask y'all
see,
this real quick before we get into the betrayals. I gotta ask y'all this question. I'm gonna give you 3 names, and I want you to rank the pops if this is the Royal Rumble. Will Ospreay, Jay White, Kenny Omega. Go.
Kenny, Will, Jay in that order.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with Justin. Yeah, that
And
order.
I think the difference is because Kenny helped build AEW, you spent a lot more years with Kenny in the States, building that platform in the United States on top of all the matches he was having in New Japan to where he was the most talked about person, the most sought out after person. Like Will Ospreay is that now. But Kenny's had like a couple years of that where it's like, you need to pull up this Kenny Omega match. Him and Okada, him and Naito, him and Ibushi. And then they would come to the States and have those matches too. You know, New Japan would do those shows in California, in New York and whatnot, Golden Lovers versus Young Bucks. And it became like a very big word of mouth. Almost felt like LeBron in those early years before LeBron hit the draft in 2003, where it's like, yo, this kid named LeBron, like he may be the real deal. You see kids coming out of high school going straight to the pros, but he might actually be the real thing. And it got to a point where ESPN had to start putting high school basketball on their television platforms because people wanted to see LeBron. And it got to the point where New Japan had to go to different English outlets to go show their stuff because people wanted to see Kenny Omega. And because I think Will Ospreay has benefited off of that in Kenny's absence, but I think that's why Kenny's gonna get a bigger pop because people also watch AEW. And even WWE fans that don't, they know who AEW is and they know Kenny is one of their top guys.
Yeah, and it'll be more of a shock value too. Like we didn't we kind of expected Cody, but we really didn't expect Cody to jump after he did what he did. But for Kenny to come over, it's a shock value. Like
that's a bigger deal than Cody because Cody was a WWE guy who left and came back. Kenny's never been a WWE guy, and you're taking one of their cornerstone guy, like not just a cornerstone guy, the guy. Like if Kenny Omega doesn't go to AEW, AEW doesn't exist.
Wow.
Like you had Cody and you had the Bucks, but the reason why they formed AEW because their main signing was Kenny Omega when he was white hot and everyone wanted him. Even WWE wanted him.
Yeah, I remember it, man. See, we're gonna have to table this because I got I got one more question. This is so good. This is why I love coming here to the
And
fan
respect to
club.
JY, but JY, you ain't on their level, dude. You're getting there, but you ain't there yet.
Wow.
Osprey's having Kenny Omega 2016, 2017 type of year right now, and Kenny Omega's been that guy for like the last 4 years.
Last question on this before we go to break, and then we're gonna come back with biggest betrayals. Is Kenny Omega? Do you think Sting is talking to Kenny Omega and saying, "Dude, you got to do WrestleMania once"? The same conversations Ric Flair had with Sting and
I
AJ
hope
Styles.
so. I hope so.
Okay.
I hope so. Like, I would love to see Kenny Omega in a WrestleMania ring. Like, given the fact that I was a part of that percentage. I didn't know who he was until he started coming over here, but then I had to go back and watch his matches and see how good he was, and better now than before, and just keeps getting better. I have to see him in a WrestleMania ring at least one time.
I think he has that conversation. I don't know if he has it with Sting, because Sting only had that one and done, unfortunately. But you have Bryan Danielson, who's been in multiple WrestleManias. You have Rusev, who had a glorious WrestleMania 31, the whole pomp and circumstance and the pageantry of it. You have other guys, Samoa Joe's wrestled in multiple
Chris
WrestleManias.
Jericho and
Cesaro's,
them two are cool.
Chris Jericho. I think he picks those brains, and it's like,
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna see. We got. I mean, we could definitely continue this. We're gonna dial this back when we get a full. Probably we're gonna have more of this conversation on the next Collision episode. Justin, Krista, hit the line. You know the line. Put it in the notes. I can't say it like you.
Oh, Justin, put it in the notes. I ain't say that in so long. I'm like, what's the line? I know the outro.
But let's take a quick break, and we will be right back. But y'all should be subscribed to Those Wrestling Girls YouTube channel, where you can find a lot of great shows as the way I did. But let me be biased real quick. And I won a contest years ago, and this was the episode that I got to choose.
She could have definitely been, still making residuals off the magazines or whatever. But hey, when one door closes for one, come on.
I mean, that ended up being one of the highest selling Playboy issues at that time.
Because China took over.
Yeah. And the interesting part is you don't have to know wrestling to find Sable attractive. To be walking in a supermarket and this is on, you're gonna pick it up, you're gonna look at it. But yeah, once this happened, she became not just a star in wrestling, she became a star in pop culture. And her checks reflected it, her TV time reflected it, and a lot of women, including Sunny, were not happy with that at all, especially because you're coming into wrestling and you're not a wrestler.
What an episode. Check out the full thing on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. Turn the bell notifications on. Just like I
said what I said.
What?
In the Sable episode. Because I was really wanting to do the episode too, Brian. So I'm glad that you picked that. Because we here. Because Queen PR was just like, really? Do we want to? And I'm like, yes, we want to.
Shout out to Queen PR. I'm repping her with the Royal Rumble jacket on today. We all know that's her favorite pay-per-view. Shout out to Seindole. They'll be back next week. But I was thinking, there's been a lot of betrayals in wrestling. And upon this betrayal that we may or may not be getting soon, I said, I think it's time. Let's talk about them. So when you sit back, I want to ask y'all, what was the very first betrayal in pro wrestling that you remember that vividly stands out? I think I know what Justice is. I'm interested to see what KRISTA B's is.
There's two. And it involves the same person.
I think
that's a lot then, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first one was The Rock and Nation of Domination turning on Farooq. That was the first one.
Damn.
Right. The second one is The Rock joining the corporation. That was a betrayal to one, the crowd, because this was still around the time where Austin just started flipping off Vince, and everybody was just like F Vince, and Rock was so loved, and then all of a sudden, so you betrayed us as fans, like twice. It goes to show. It says a lot about me, and guess the type of men I like. I guess I don't
Yeah,
know.
you like homewreckers that jump ship.
Not home wreckers. Home wreckers is
Wow.
a strong word.
He hits you with that eyebrow. You be like, ooh.
Okay, now.
Wow.
But yeah, those were two of Betrayals. Now, if you mean like on each other,
No, we'll get there. We'll get
Oh,
there. But those the ones you remember first?
yeah, dealing with the
Vividly.
Rock. I think it's just men.
All right. Before we jump in, do a deep dive, Justin.
I mean, you said you know mine, so I'm gonna see.
I don't know
Barbershop?
yours.
Yeah, it has to be because it's the year I really vividly started watching wrestling, remember wrestling, and it happens to be the same year with the biggest fucking betrayal of all time that everyone brings up. If it's not number one, it's everyone's like Mount Rushmore of biggest betrayals. It's Shawn Michaels kicking fucking Marty Jannetty through the barbershop glass at the Barber Beefcakes set and ambiance in the barbershop and whatnot. Like that was the biggest thing because it was like you didn't see things like that really, especially like as a kid. That was like the first one where it's like the rockers were insanely popular. You had your good guys and your bad guys. You didn't really have tweeners. You either fuck with them or you didn't.
Yep.
And the rockers were beloved. This beloved tag team. And you saw the descent going back to Survivor Series where like they weren't on the same page. Marty ended up costing Shawn in that match where Shawn got eliminated because of Marty's bullshit. And then they laid the foundation to where it could turn, but it was still like a surprise. It's almost like if you've ever seen The Walking Dead and where Negan kills Glenn, it's like if you've ever read the comics, you know that happens. But if you've never read the comics, seeing that is like a fucking like, what the hell? This is what we're doing?
Yeah.
And like that type of shock and awe of like the first time. That's what it kind of felt like watching Shawn do that to Marty, where it's like, what the fuck? That's your man. Like, why are you doing all this and putting him through the fucking glass and whatnot? And it was such a big fucking deal that like, yeah. And then
did you watch all like the Survivor Series and everything? Like,
yeah, I watched all that.
Okay.
That's why I was like, I was 6 at that time. So it's like I remember all of that leading up to it. And then after that, it's like, yeah, fuck Shawn. I don't care if you got Sherry and you got cool music and you got cool gear. Like, nah, fuck you. Why you did that to Marty?
Nah, that's
eventually when we got older, it's like, nah, you did us a favor because Marty had to come in.
Let's not, because we know Brian gonna start crying over this Marty stuff again. We ain't got time for it today.
What you talking about, Willis?
But yeah, Shawn and Marty, man, it just happens that it coincides when I actually started watching wrestling like that.
Nah, facts. That's my first one that I remember. And just to add on, I'll just say I can vividly remember being in like my grandmother's room watching this and just wondering like why. Like I don't remember the Hart Foundation splitting up, but I remember them being a tag team. The next thing you know, Bret Hart was a singles guy, and I'm a fan. I remember being a fan of the Rockers, the WWF magazines, the music, and then trying to run like them because they had the little bicycle,
the little
thing.
tassels,
yeah,
and,
the tassels.
And everything.
So when this happened, I'm mad. So like I'm watching like all the matches, and I'm just hoping Marty gets the best of Shawn, which he beat him once, and then obviously lost the belt right back to him. But KRISTA, you brought up too with The Rock, and I remember we talked about this on Bring It Down with Brian H. You talked about how you didn't like The Rock joining the corporation and winning the championship. Now, for context, you became a Rock fan immediately. Survivor Series 96. His first pay-per-view. I still find it funny that you like the blue chipper.
I just thought he was cute.
I mean, for all intents and purposes, you were like the people who like Roman Reigns when he was not the tribal chief.
And was and am and
right.
will still be.
But when you sit back and you see what everything that came about that, how like did you pivot? Like me and Justin for our first betrayals, right? All right, fine. We don't like Shawn. Did you?
Fuck him.
Right.
Welcome.
How did you feel about The Rock? Now the Nation is different because he stayed heel, but from the corporation, he went from being who was going to be the next biggest babyface to now he was the number 2 babyface, becomes the number 1 heel, just like that. Did you go with The Rock or did you stay on the other side?
I mean, that's mine. I'm gonna stick beside him, but
okay.
I was very, very upset. Like, I'm just like, I was really like, who am I supposed to like now? Like, I really didn't want to be Team Stone Cold.
Because your brother was.
Because my brother and my cousin. Undertaker at one point scared the hell out of me, although I did know how to roll my eyes like him.
And he was a heel at the time.
Right. And then it was just like Mick Foley, and this was just me like watching it. Mick Foley, I didn't know what was happening. I just feel like he was really crazy because the hair pulling, you know, him coming out with the dirty looking shirt.
That's never credited as a double turn. We always talk about Austin Brett at WrestleMania 13. They never consider Survivor Series a double turn. When Foley clearly went in as Vince McMahon's boy and was the heel and instantly became a babyface.
They don't talk about it because I feel like people forget. But for me, I was just like, all right, who am I supposed to like? But then when he was in the corporation and he started to get the mic and stuff more, that's when he became more enticing, more like you had to gravitate towards him. You had to, you know? So I was like, all right. It was just like, you know, you have an argument in a relationship and you mad at them, but it's just like, I still love you, but I don't like you right now. That's just what it was for me.
So when did you become a fan again?
I never stopped.
Okay.
Never stopped.
Okay.
So y'all was still a couple. You just made him sleep on the couch for a while.
Yeah, he was on the couch.
When did he get off?
Pause.
Right, like we just gonna not talk about that. That's it. No, like I said, like him, I feel like him being able to come into his own on the mic was that.
No, it says when Batista almost killed Ray, and then the follow-up is Eddie did was a crazy line. I was not a fan of Batista that much, so it was just like, see, I told y'all. Y'all remember when this was y'all watching?
I wasn't.
Okay.
Not at that time.
What year is this?
I'm not exactly sure. That Ruthless Aggression era is very.
That's giving.
Yeah, so probably not then.
If Eddie passed away in what year? 2005.
Yeah.
So that's given like 2006-ish, 6 or 7.
Yeah, 6 or 7. Mike says, "Hogan finger poke of doom." I was saying, you know, good well that wasn't your first betrayal. That just killed WCW as a whole. Shout out to Andre from Wealth Warrior, says KO betraying Jericho by pretending to give him a new list on the front. It was like the list of KO.
Oh, that one hurt.
That one hurt.
That took me back to Shawn and Marty. I was like, motherfucker.
Kevin Owens' betrayals in general should just be its own list. Because when Sami Zayn won,
and finally after 4 times,
right,
chasing that title,
Kevin comes out and he congratulates him, but then he ambushes him, makes this man break his neck on the ring apron, and he sits away. Up. And that I'm surprised that Sami Zayn is even wrestling now because that was an injury of all injuries. So Kevin Hart's bye. Kevin Owens betrayals need to be a list of its own.
Nah, facts.
He's very hard to trust. I like him, but he's very hard to trust.
You know, that
it's like an Instagram model where it's like, I want to date you, but then this shit don't be adding up, and you was just so untrustworthy. But at the same time, it's like, God, I can't quit you.
Like you nice, like.
Well, this is the reason why I didn't want Sami Zayn to join up with him. Like, bro, do you not remember? Like, how many times you gonna go through this?
How many times you gonna touch that stove and you know
exactly.
It's hot?
Yeah, now he just went to another show. You know,
love that for him.
Is that betrayal? Did he betray him by going to SmackDown?
No.
You don't think so?
No, because that involved the GMs, and that's something that's out of KO's control.
Is it?
Quote unquote.
You don't think he got creative control
I
was
do
it no
think
trade
they need
clause?
that creative control, but I also feel like it's something that KO. I feel like KO needs to do for himself. It was either you betray Sami or you go to the next show, and he's like, I'm tired of being looked at in this light. I'm gonna just go ahead to SmackDown and beat up Dominic, and we love when we beat up Dominic, so why not?
No, come on now.
Except for Brian. Okay,
Your future world champion.
not mine. Don't. He didn't mean
In
it. He did
2028.
not mean it. You hear me?
No, he ain't gonna. I ain't say WWE Universal. No, he takes Seth belt. Roman's gonna
Oh
hold
yeah,
the belt. Roman breaks Bruno.
Oh, he's definitely breaking Bruno.
May 4th, 2028. I did the calculation earlier. That's when he breaks Bruno Sammartino's record.
Oh, 2028?
Yep. WrestleMania 44.
Not
Make it
happening.
happen. Book it.
Not happening. Maybe if you accumulate all his title reigns and add them together, he will. But
yeah,
not in one shot.
I want to see it.
People gonna get tired.
I'm about to say, if you get that, Brian, the fucking ratings will be beyond under the fucking.
I don't think so.
The bar won't be in hell; it'll be underneath because they're gonna be like, "Yo, we gotta watch another 5 years of this." Like, there's no more roster after that.
But as it's happening, as long as the story is good,
smashed everybody.
As long as
multiple
the story
times,
is good, I mean, but we'll see. But just some more, and people in the chat, drop your betrayals, some of your favorites.
I hear you on that, Brian. Where it's like, if the story's good, the problem is Roman's gone through so many people already that like you've already rehashed some of them on more than one occasion, to where it's like it's hard to refresh it. Like, you've done Roman KO multiple times, so it's hard to refresh that a third time. You've done Roman Drew already, so it's hard to refresh that again.
You've done Roman Drew. I'm just sick of Drew, period.
It's very limited to where it's really just Cody, Seth, or like Damian Priest. Otherwise, Roman's beaten everyone else multiple times. So then if you rehash it and be like, well, let's put in a twist on the story. It's like, yeah, but it's almost like watching them. It's like watching the Fast and Furious franchise, where it's like, we've seen the first 4 movies. Okay, we're going to get Fast 5, but at the same time, what makes it different from the first 4? Because we've already seen this 4 times.
That's why I'm not a writer. I just watch them write the story.
We still watch the Fast franchise. I still haven't. I haven't watched 10, so nobody spoil it for me. Thanks. But yeah, I watched them.
So don't watch it. Don't watch it.
But it's funny. I said that for the longest time. To the question, is anybody you can see take the belt? I said last year that the person wasn't on the roster yet. I don't think it's gonna happen at Crown Jewel, but technically that person wasn't on the roster. That being LA Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I don't see him doing it. I know all roads lead to Cody. I hope it's not him. Personally would want to see somebody.
I personally want it to be Seth, just because their story isn't finished yet. I've said this on previous TWG fan club episodes. Seth is still owed a match, because that Royal Rumble match, Seth won that by DQ because Roman lost his shit and just choked him the fuck out. Mm-hmm. So technically, Seth should get a title shot at some point.
Though he ain't have to come out like the Shield, like I ain't going through the fuck. Like, you're not gonna play in my face. Hey P.
Yeah. Queen PR in the chat. Y'all make sure y'all send her love.
Absolutely.
I don't, I'm here for the ride. I don't want to see. I'm not picking who should take the title off Roman. But you talk about betrayals. How much can he really trust Heyman? We could look at some of his betrayals. Remember when he betrayed Brock Lesnar back at Survivor Series 2002? Did anybody see that coming?
When he went team with Big Show?
Yeah.
Then again, Heyman is messy. Heyman's really like a Real Housewife. He's messy.
P, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm giving my liver prep right now, okay? This is mostly juice, but still, whatever.
5 years. Make sure y'all there November 4th, as noted earlier. All the early bird tickets are sold out.
They done off.
But $20, you spend more than that on food. Support these ladies. Support the cause, the brand, and everything. Be there, because we promise you will not want to miss this one.
Listen, y'all not even getting recaps. Y'all miss
Oh.
it. Y'all miss it.
they not getting
We're not
no
talking
recaps.
about it afterwards. We're not doing none of that. Y'all
But that.
Come on.
Oh man, shout out to the Colton show. Y'all gotta be there. We y'all definitely gotta be there. But yeah, these some of these betrayals, it says the Rock coming for 6 month run. Yeah. Yeah, we talked about Kevin Owens. Andre brought up the winning by a knockout. Big Show betrayal, which direction he was going on in the next episode. I think he had the most heel face turns in history. And one of the Eric Bischoff always said it was hard to book for him because at the end of the day, he's a giant. You can't get sympathy behind him, but then he also don't need to cheat.
True.
I'm not mad at this take by the biggest Homo sapien ever. That being almost needs to dethrone Roman.
What you smoking?
If you build this long enough and let Omos get, continue to grow and get better. Like, think about this. Well, they did it. But I was gonna say in 90, you wouldn't have maybe said the Undertaker is gonna beat Hulk Hogan. And he did the next year, even though he took the belt right off, right? But no, better yet, Oz. If you looked at Oz, you would say he's not beating Ric Flair or Sting. Yeah, he got the size, but the character wasn't there. But when he became Diesel, when he became Kevin Nash, okay, now it makes sense. Omar's still young.
Here's the difference though with the Undertaker. When he beat Hogan, Undertaker didn't lose. Not to mention, Undertaker had the most protected finisher at that time, which was the Tombstone, even though Hogan fucked that one up at Survivor Series. But if Taker hit you with a Tombstone, that was it. And also, Taker was just this monster that was just annihilating people. So it made sense at that time for Taker to dethrone Hogan because he was mauling down everybody. It's basically the Goldberg streak before the Goldberg streak. And then Hogan's got a Hogan. He's not going to lose clean. And then we got to have Jack Tunney. Let's run it back in a week this Tuesday in Texas. And then we're going to have shenanigans again to get the title off of Undertaker, which was like, what was the fucking point? But then that's Hogan being Hogan. But at that time, again,
on Ric Flair. Is that not what happened?
Yeah, but that was like, why aren't we just getting Hogan versus Flair straight up then? And then why do we have to do this Undertaker pivot if we're just going to take the title off of Taker a week later? And then have the Rumble shenanigans
years later.
But then that's a whole subsection of like Hogan doing Hogan shit and booking himself into that doesn't work for me, brother.
He said he built like Shaq, give him away the damn title. Oh man,
he built like Orlando Shaq because he
bigger.
Omos ain't Laker Shaq. Omos is leaner.
Orlando Shaq though. Yeah.
But
and that's a compliment to Omos.
We talk about betrayals though. And Undertaker. How about when Paul Bearer betrayed the Undertaker? Did y'all see that live?
That I did not expect, and I was like,
"You had one job,
right?
Bear.
You had one job, and you definitely turned on." And he did it twice, or maybe more than twice. But I remember the first one with he was fighting Mick Foley. He wouldn't give him his urn. Then Mick used the urn against Taker and ended up winning. And then I remember with, the Kane situation. It's Kane, your brother, he's here, and this and third. And didn't he do it with Big Show as well?
Nah, he didn't do it with Big Show. He betrayed Kane for Undertaker.
Oh, so he just was brother hopping. Got it. Homie hopping.
Hey, yo.
Homie hopping. Got it.
But it's that homie hopping. Let's take a quick break.
Homie hopping.
The song is in my head. I'm sorry.
Bam. Homie, don't play that.
We've been teasing the Colton show, so let's give him the full thing. And so,
Lord.
Hey, pause. Let's give him the full thing.
Well, here is the thing. I want people who are on the fence about coming to this anniversary. I really want them to understand that they are getting a lot for a little bit. That little bit of $20. And here's a sneak peek from last year.
So, what's up? What's your name?
Justin.
KRISTA B. Ebony.
My name's Vaughn.
It's Lawrence from 2.5 Bros. You know your favorite whole host, Mr. Hitter with the wee wee. Shawn.
Who do you want to fight? Or who do you think that you could beat in a wrestling match?
Miss.
Why?
Because I know.
Is that it?
Yeah, I got hands, that's why.
I pick Spike Dudley. That's an easy match for me.
I mean, Spike, he did some shit though. Like you really.
Nah, that's a fact. No, but I was smoking though. Me, personally, I was smoking. But like other people.
Symbol. Rey Mysterio, kick his ass. It's like, damn. Who's that flying?
Baby, do it.
Sasha Banks.
Why?
I'll beat that bitch up.
God damn.
That's why his move is 619. You don't know which area code he's in. Is he in the 212? Is he in the 619?
I'll beat her.
Why though?
I'm
You just.
from Brooklyn.
Hey.
Already know.
You feel me?
Damn, I was gonna say Brock Lesnar.
I like the confidence. Like just.
He's on some type of alcohol. He said Brock Lesnar. He's wilding like this wasn't in the octagon or some shit.
A wrestling match. You said a wrestling match, but definitely in a boxing match, I'm working Brock Lesnar. I'm working like, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. In a real boxing match with gloves and everything, fuck with me, bro.
Hey.
I'm taking Zack Ryder. I'm going easy. Easy W. He from Long Island. I'm in Brooklyn. Son, what's up?
That's it. Yeah.
The person I feel like that I could probably take on and beat in a match is definitely Emma. Emma came back. She did her thing, but I could take her.
Okay. Tell the people all your information for.
Make sure that you guys follow those wrestling girls everywhere: Twitter, IG, Facebook. Join our discussion group. Subscribe to our YouTube. Subscribe to our Patreon. You can follow me, Miss KRISTA B, MS_KRISTA B_, and on Twitter, Miss_KRISTA B.
Yes,
and
sir.
I'm out of here.
But definitely in a boxing match, I'm working Brock Lesnar. I'm working like, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you.
We've been running that for almost a year. And
For 84 years. It has to stop.
Yeah,
funny.
if we see him at the anniversary party, he's gotta take a fucking penalty shot for it. I'll fight Brock Lesnar, man. You get me in the ring with some boxing gloves, it's like, no.
Somebody get Brock. Maybe that's the special guest. I don't know who it is. I'm not privy to that information, and I'm not going to ask. But
I'm not gonna ask either. I want to be surprised.
If Brock is the special guest, boy,
oh my god, I will fucking laugh.
That'd be amazing. As long as I can wear the cowboy hat. As long as I can wear the hat.
Mm-hmm.
But like he'd be like, hold this, absolutely. Put it right here.
And then ponytail Brock too.
Come on, I'll listen. I got a ponytail. We good.
I guess
put the hat
this counts up here.
You gotta slick it down, but it counts. It counts.
It looks weird when I slick it down. That's why I'm like, nah, give me the Xavier Woods and put it up. Yeah, like I've actually had like the dude who does like the top, like actually like straighten it to see how long it goes, and I had the fucking AJ Styles look, and it looks so weird on me. I was like, oh my god,
you gotta
that's the first time I've ever seen.
That.
No, that's never seen the light of day ever.
Put that in the
No, that's never seen the light of day. But trust, like when the hair is like straight, it actually is like down and curls like AJ's.
Mm-hmm.
And I be looking at him like, don't do that again, please.
You give him real Rico Suave, huh?
Full Puerto Rican.
Mm-hmm.
This hair does. His hair can do everything.
Hey,
what
Kyle,
up?
what's up?
What's going on? What Warrior brought up earlier, Andre brought up earlier. Trish Stratus betraying Chris Jericho for Christian at WrestleMania 20.
Have you seen Trish at that WrestleMania? She could betray me all she wants. Like here, babe. I'll do it for. I did it for the Trish. Like yes, I did because Trish at that Mania. Oof.
Man, well,
blessings.
Yeah. Did y'all think Trish today?
I think her every day.
Who y'all talking to?
But Trish, no, but it's nothing. It's nothing sexual. It's more like Trish is like one of my personal favorites. Like when I've talked about Mount
10.
Rushmores of women's wrestlers in WWE, Trish has always been like my number one before Sasha Banks / Mercedes Moné, and Mercedes dethroned her, but Trish is still like Mount Rushmore for me.
I thought you said you was gonna say something else. I'm sorry. Please excuse my tiredness. I'll text you what I thought you was gonna say because that ain't it. It's not. This is not the platform for it.
Gotta say that for a TWG After Dark coming soon.
Yes, absolutely. Y'all might get a little sneak peek of it at the party, the event.
Oh, is that right?
I don't know. I told you we're not streaming nothing.
Nope.
Period, Ricasha. Period. Because I'm not. I'll say thank you, Roman. Thank you, Becky. Thank you, Rock. Thank you, everybody on this wall behind me. And Bianca, although her keep falling, so she chilling on the couch over there.
Well, it's 8 o'clock, so y'all know what that means. We watch AEW. In the words of Queen PR, we watch AEW as a family. So y'all tune in as y'all can watch that on mute. MJF is on talking about something, but feel free
So
to.
that means that's about to be a 25-minute promo because it's MJF.
Well, he backstage with Renee. Apparently, what's his name? Kyle Riley and them. The Roderick Strong of it all, and the neck brace gimmick that was happening. So.
I need MJF's jacket. Listen, I'm on this flight jacket type kick.
Ooh.
So I
like
need
Sting.
Yeah, and I said I need a Sting's jacket too. I tweeted that out last week. Yep, sure did.
Man, I felt like it was 2004 all over again.
Coming from the one sitting in a flight jacket, I'm so confused.
This is not a flight jacket. This is
definitely a flight
jacket. The flight jackets are bigger and they're more puffier. This is not puffy at all. This is thin.
Okay.
Shout out to Chalk Line.
I gotta join the Chalk Line club because I don't have a Chalk Line yet. And P was really persuading me to buy that Bianca one. I'm like, girl, I'm in between blessings. I can't be doing this out here, but I'm gonna get it. I
like that. I'm in between blessings. That's a verb.
Well,
proverb.
Blessings.
As we talk about betrayals, was there one that legitimately shocked y'all? That just jumps out.
Not Becky. Bayley turning on Becky.
I was there.
You was there when she
hit it with the chair?
She hit it with the chair. You was there for that. P and I was there the following week when they came to, was it Barclays or was it when they all fought?
Oh, MSG.
Yeah, it was MSG when they all fought.
Was that when she tore down the Bayley buddies?
Nah, Chris was talking about where you actually had the 4 horsemen fighting each other. So it was Becky and Charlotte versus Sasha and the newly turned Bayley.
Yeah, I was there for that, and I'm just like, first of all, if y'all go back, if y'all remember, I kept saying I wanted a 4 horsewomen versus 4 horsewomen match. Although I didn't want it in that way, I wanted it the 4 horsewomen WWE versus the 4 horsewomen MMA. However, I still got that match, and I feel like that match was so much better because I would have never thought that Charlotte would have came out to aid Becky. I would have never thought we would have seen any of that happening. And then for all of that to happen, and then the adrenaline, like it just felt like it was something that needed to happen on the East Coast. Like the West Coast couldn't handle that. Like the East Coast needed it. And then you're going to come to New York?
You got a hell of a match.
Hell of a match. Definitely was there. I still watch the clips from my phone. Like when they came down, they just ran out the ring and started fighting. Like it was bananas. Literally one of my favorite betrayal moments ever.
Yeah. Justin, anyone that shocked you the most?
I think shocked me the most is another very, very popular one that I think, I don't know if you're going to say that for later or if we're going to get into it, but
jump in.
Seth turning on the Shield.
What, we on the same wave tonight.
Because I did not see that coming.
Nope.
And even when he hits him with even when he hits Roman with the chair, I'm fucking like Ambrose at home. Just like, wait, what? Huh?
I'm not ready to talk about this yet. I am still trauma healing from this.
We're sorry.
It's
Do you want a prayer circle?
Maybe later. No, but you're right. That was definitely like, I honestly forgot about that because you see, I'm trying to like suppress it in my memories because
you did the therapy.
I did the therapy.
There are certain moments that you pick up the phone Did you see what just happened? That was a moment. I still remember.
And we didn't know each other then, so it sucks. I couldn't pick up the phone.
Right. I called the real Dwayne Allen. Shout out. Check him out on the Wrestling Realm tonight at 10:30.
You know when he pops up, because we know he's not a real person.
He's not. But I remember I was like,
so you're saying he's like Bigfoot?
Yeah, he's like Sasquatch.
You're lucky if you see him.
Y'all funny.
That's why I still look at the picture to make sure it didn't disappear. Like he didn't disappear in it.
You think y'all do a video too? Oh no, that was just audio, but it's on Patreon, which you can subscribe to those Wrestling Girls.
Is his
Patreon.
voice still there? I mean, it's his voice. Like you can hear him, but you can't see him.
But yeah, when it happened, I remember calling like, bro, and that was the time when everybody was like trying to pick out the breakout star of the Shield, right? Everybody was gonna say it was either going to be, sorry, there's Noah again, but it was either going to be Roman Reigns or Dean Ambrose. Very few people picked Seth. Not saying nobody did. And I remember Dwayne kept saying, no, it's going to be Seth. It's going to be Seth. He's doing all the high spots. Watch. And you kind of felt like he needed it because, like, look at Roman Reigns. He looked like $1 million, even though he was green as grass compared to them. Then Dean Ambrose had a cult-like following. Seth Rollins had the NXT. He still had some WWE dust on him because he had been with the under the FCW NXT. So it felt like when he did this elevated him to a whole new level. But it was definitely one of those moments that was like, yo, what just happened? Kyle brought up, did we talk about Stone Cold turning on the people? Which time?
Right. Like what?
Well, WrestleMania, if I take a guess, I think he's talking about WrestleMania 17. Alana, shout out to Corey, my kicks on my fix said the dummies forgot they booked it in Texas because it wasn't going to work that night. You know, you sit back and you're like, bro, it just wasn't going to work, you know. So I'm like, but you know, it was still a moment. Like you sit back, you go back and watch it. Jim Ross on the call. He says obviously he knew it, but he called that so authentic. You know, it's like when you look at those things when you see Jim Ross, that y'all seen them Triple H Jim Ross videos, the compilation where it's like all the times like Triple H,
son of a bitch. Oh,
damn you, Triple H! Damn you! It was like that, you know. It was just so
my favorites. Them
raw and authentic. What do y'all remember about that turn? We're gonna get to some more in the we're gonna get some more into the chat.
I was just like another Stone Cold antic.
I was like, you sell out,
right?
Really? Vince of all people, Mania of all times, in your home fucking state and all that shit, like, bruh.
I think I was literally bragging to my brother. I'm like, oh, he with Vince now. Like, you know me, because I was a rock girl. Rock did it one time, and that was it.
And I'm gonna ask you, this is 2001. Did y'all still believe in kayfabe?
I didn't even, to be honest, I never even heard the word kayfabe at that time.
Well, you know what I'm asking. I don't use
no, what I'm saying is I didn't know about it to believe in anything.
Okay, so you thought it was.
I wasn't 100% still in kayfabe, but like I believed enough. But it was like, all right, I'm fucking like in 2001. I'm in high school. I can put 2 and 2 together. But yes, this is still real to me. Damn it.
Got you. And that's why I was like particularly interested in like what KRISTA was like. Were you did you know? Was you like privy to the business yet, or so this is a full shoot for you?
I was just watching from a fan's perspective. It's because y'all know I grew up watching soap operas, so that's what it was like for me. Like 1 minute, if you're on General Hospital, you got Sonny and Carly all buddy and loving each other, whatever. Then you got Alexis coming in, and then Sonny and Carly on the outskirts because Sonny's with Alexis. It was just given, you know, nasty love triangle. Like that's what it was given. So I really wasn't paying attention to the kayfabe part of it. Now looking back, I'm just like, this is really kayfabe. Like, all right.
That's the part though that's so fun. Like when you don't know, like Owen Hart turned on Brett and he kicked his leg out of his leg. Me being 8 years old, it was 7. It was innocent to me because I didn't know. And those betrayals when they happen when you're younger, they hit different because you're like legitimately like go to bed still thinking about it. Like,
and then you go to school the next
go to
day
school talking about it.
You know what betrayal got me?
Hmm.
And I don't think anybody's mentioned this yet. Stephanie turning on Vince. And
Oh, Stephanie turning on Vince.
Man. Because I was just thinking, like, the sledgehammer and how, first of all, that whole wedding in itself and leading up to that match from that wedding, and that was truly, truly amazing storytelling.
Yeah.
Amazing storytelling. So for us to do that and for us to see Stephanie like, let me hit him. I got it. Let me hit him. And then, she getting up and she's hugging Triple H while Vince is like literally bloodied, a bloody fucking pulp and in the middle of the ring. Like, that was just amazing. And then
And you
Stephanie
watched
never
this
looked
live?
back. Huh?
You watched this live?
I did.
Oh, yeah.
I did.
See, for me, a lot of times when I didn't see the pay-per-views, like the betrayals hit different when you don't see it live. I always love to hear the stories of like the ones I didn't see live. Like that one, obviously WrestleMania 15 DX, I didn't see that live. So like when Austin one, I heard it because the cable company put it on the wrong TV at my grandmother's house. So I heard the scrambling, but it's a lot of stuff like when you hear about it from school, it's like, all right, now I got to go home and see how this happened. Or you watch Raw the next day and you see the screenshots.
Yeah, I hated that. Like, don't do that to me. If you want to play it, play it.
Well, you know now working in media, TV rights and all that stuff. But as a child, you're right. Let's show it to us.
It wasn't even TV rights. It was a ploy for them to want, because remember, it came on pay-per-view that Sunday, and then you had that Monday, so the screenshots, and they'll replay it on pay-per-view that Tuesday, so they want you to rebuy it. So
well, that's what I mean. Well, yeah, a little bit of both, but yeah, you're right. That was the main thing, trying to get those paper, because the replay numbers did well, and it's the think now, like actually buying a replay, like what? But sometimes people would buy, like if it was really good, they would buy it again, not well at this point. People was doing it, with taping it.
Yeah, I was about to say shout out to my brother because he made sure we taped it so you wouldn't have to buy it again.
Yeah, same. My grandmother told me I don't pay all that money for you to watch it once. But yeah, so that was the thing. Let's get in some more in the chat as Juice Robinson is taking on MJF and
it's bleeding already.
Yeah, I was looking at the time within the 10-minute mark, and first of all, as I want to know, how do y'all feel about belt stealing as we see Jay White walking around with the Triple B?
It's petty as hell.
Yeah.
It's petty and it's given sore loser, but if you build the story out right, then that hurt me, Steph. That
Anthony
one hurt.
Hardy brings up Big Cass betraying Enzo.
That hurt
Big Cass didn't recover. Nope. But that was one like
I gotta remember that one.
Yep. You sure did him. I watched that live too. I was like, what the fuck?
You're right. Exactly.
I was like, what
I guess you can't teach that.
That part. Because it's just like at the time, Enzo was the attraction of the group. So it was like, and it's like Cass took on like the David Ruffin. Like, ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis, but we were coming to see Otis, not you. And you turned on him, and look at you now. I mean, you look amazing now.
Yeah.
But that betrayal hurt.
Yeah. As Noah, in his words,
twin number 2.
He refuses to acknowledge Jimmy Uso. He said, did that shit in Detroit.
Now, you know what that gave off? That gave off little brother keeping big brother, because I'm tired of you being in the fucking spotlight. Now it's my turn kind of vibes.
Yo, it's
Is MJF bleeding too, or he just got Juice Robinson's blood on his face?
He bit Juice Robinson, and that's how he got the blood. I was like, bite him again, bite him for me. Fucking Castaway look-alike motherfucker.
And
Sound like Mimi from
so it's,
Love and Hip Hop.
when
Hit
this
him
part
again.
happened,
Hit him
Get
for
him,
me.
hit him again, kick him for me.
the funniest thing when this happened, I turned around and I'm next to Queen PR and Seindole. And of course, I pull out my phone because I'm like, the look on Queen PR's face when Jimmy turned on Jay, priceless. Priceless. And Seindole sitting there confused. I remember me and shout out to Cornell Gunther of WWE2K. We sitting there like, yo, what just happened? Because so this is the problem, right? The problem with you see the Usos do a show where they say it's our dream to face each other. It automatically like plants a little mustard seed. And
Come
you
on,
just
talking from the Bible. Mustard seed.
a little mustard seed.
Speak it
you
into
know,
existence.
it's, you know they're gonna have a match because that's what they want, and because they've been, money makers, they entitled to sort of get what they want. But I didn't know it was gonna happen there. And when it did, but I still love the way it played out. It wasn't just no, because you just, but it was no, I did this because I didn't want you to be like him, and he's still not buying it, and now they still going at it. And I love how they're taking their time with this. What they say, bottom of the third. I'm loving it. And it's still a lot of story to go with this. Andre says Dakota Kai turned on Tegan Knox.
That was a good
one.
That was a shocker for me. That was a shocker.
And it helps that Morrow was on commentary just going absolutely, what the hell?
I forgot about Morrow.
Man,
what the hell?
We gotta give Mauro Ronaldo.
I loved him.
Thanks a lot,
Underrated.
JBL. You had to
Right.
ruin a good thing that was Mauro Ronaldo.
What happened? Wait, remind me, refresh my memory.
So part of the reason why Mauro went to NXT is because JBL was doing JBL shit, aka bullying. Because JBL loves bullying, but Mauro really suffers from mental health and severe depression and stuff like that. So it's like you can't bully someone like that. And so I think it spiraled Mauro to where they're like, all right, we gotta keep you two away from each other. Mauro go down to NXT because that's when Triple H had more of like the control of the steering wheel for NXT and whatnot. And that's how he became NXT commentator, because JBL was still doing commentary on, I don't know if it was Raw or SmackDown, but like he was still like, a Vince guy. And that's when everyone got on JBL's ass for like bullying and shit like that. That's the only wrestler I've ever been blocked on social media, was because I was like, dude, what the fuck? This guy suffers from mental health and stuff like that, and you're doing this because JBL's an asshole.
Yeah, he didn't care. He didn't care. I remember when I saw him in Texas. One, he walks crazy. Like
wrestler walk.
I don't know if it's like wrestler walk mixed with diaper butt.
Probably diaper butt
And heel spurs. Like it's like he's all messed up. And when I tell you, in Texas, everyone was booing him while he was walking up the stairs to do the pre-show. Everyone was
his hometown.
Booing. Right. So
there's too many stories out there with JBL being an asshole.
Yeah, he's not nice. I heard he's not nice. He's not nice at all.
That's one wrestler I'm not looking forward to. Like, yo, let's meet him. Like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, same. I don't care if he's best friends with Ron Simmons. Real quick about Mauro Ronaldo, was he the first to kind of do that TikTok style video at ringside, where holding the phone up? Granted, TikTok wasn't a thing, as MJF just scored a victory. But was he the first to kind of do that, where he would record himself and post on social media his like live commentary reactions?
I think so.
I don't know
we see it now on Michael Cole.
But I know like he had like the camera there, and it would be like I know that's not a WWE angle.
Right. It's definitely his phone. We obviously Samantha Irvin is killing it.
Hell yeah. She's doing a fantastic job.
Will go down as the greatest ever. I think Fink is Fink, but then there's everybody else.
I think she's creeping on Fink's corner. I think she's coming close to overtaking Justin Roberts in that number 2 spot for me.
You mean the Justin Roberts that's on AEW right now?
Yes. Justin Roberts does a really good job.
He does. So
he does.
Good job. And he's been a part of some monumental calls too. So that's where it also triggers it the same way Fink does with the and new. Like Roberts has his own thing where it's like when I think iconic moments, Roberts has been a part of those, just like Fink has been a part of like the old ones. And Samantha is working her way up to where love you, Lillian. Samantha's past you. Love you, JoJo. She's past you.
Thing about
and
Samantha
whatnot.
too, like Kaz said, she put that stink on your name, and it solidifies you because you care about somebody more. Just the way she said, and she said, and Chelsea Green.
But that part is
I
like
love
she
the
makes
way
it
you
very
said
unique.
Kaiser.
Yeah, I love the way she pronounced Kaiser's name. Like she'll go and she'll
the Kaiser.
yeah.
Could we get
Who's Dusty
Samantha
Baker?
Irvin?
Who's
Dusty Baker is a
what's
Hall
wrong?
of Fame manager in baseball.
He retired.
He's retiring on Wednesday. Yeah.
It's
Good.
official.
He's retiring.
Salute to you. You've had a great career. Go rest and fuck the Astros.
I mean, the dude played with Hank Aaron, coached Barry Bonds, Ken Griffey Jr., Sammy Sosa, Jose Altuve, Bryce Harper, and so many other greats.
I think he's the most successful black manager in baseball history, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's probably easily the first, at least like first name that comes to your mind. Even though he got like one World Series, what 3 pennants, 4 pennants. Plus
He's well respected.
But yeah, let's jump into some more. Kyle has 2 from TNA. Shout out to TNA getting their name back.
Yes, welcome back, TNA.
Yeah,
talking about things that we speak into existence. You guys, Brian, you, P, Seindole, how you basically your TNA appreciation night and whatnot, almost
that's true.
Basically spoke this into existence.
I mean,
the power of the tongue, man.
This will
be listening to TWG Fan Club.
We got TNA back. We got Dana
Brooke a major push.
Yeah. So maybe somebody gonna get betrayed soon. So Bully Ray turning on Jeff Hardy and Bobby Roode turning on James Storm. I don't remember number 1. I kind of remember, but I didn't like pay attention enough to know if they were like their allyship. Definitely remember number 2 because I really, really like Beer Money. And I like the fact that this was for the world title. I always remember when Bobby Roode became champion. My favorite wrestler said that he wasn't championship material, and it set the internet on fire. And we all knew he was like one of the people pulling some strings at TNA. And James Storm was champion. And then when Bobby Roode becomes champion, he goes, he had a solid run. I really enjoyed his run. I don't know if y'all was watching TNA, but those 2011, 2012 years was definitely incredible.
Rakash, wrestling
we was outside.
Yep, I was 21. That's all I needed to know.
To say less. 2012. Rakash says Nikki turning on Brie. Oh my goodness,
that was good, but then they fumbled the follow up to it.
Really?
If they would have really feuded, then that could have really been something. But it kind of the execution of the turn is great, and then because they fumbled the rest of it, it kind of takes it down notches.
Yeah,
like it doesn't hit the same.
They brought out Jerry Springer at one point. They brought out their brother. It was still given by ruthless aggression.
Yeah.
In the sense or whatever. So yeah.
It was given flavor of love energy. If you know, you know.
Do y'all remember where y'all was when you watched it?
I think I watched that one live. That's one of the few SummerSlams where I think I was tapped back in. I was interested to see it because that actually was like a great women's feud that they built. And this was at a time where they weren't really building stuff for the women, but they put a lot of time and effort into Stephanie McMahon, Brie Bella. This is around the time where Daniels, I don't know if he retired yet or he was just gone because of the injury. And that's what kickstarted their feud and whatnot.
He was gone because this is the same night as Suplex City was born.
Yeah, and so they were very invested in Brie, and Brie was over by proxy. And this was like, I was into this. And then Nikki turning was like a big deal, but then it's just the weeks and months after that where it's just like, damn, y'all could have really done something here. But I think people didn't want to see the Bella Twins split up, similar to like the Hardys, where you didn't want to see them fight each other.
Yeah.
Which I get, but it's like, but this could have been really good, and you fumbled this one.
Yeah, I was watching this. So I was at church. I had a church event in South Carolina. And this is the first SummerSlam under the WWE Network. And I remember we had just came back off the bus. went to our hotel, and we getting in line for food. I got my phone. I'm like trying to hurry and get to my room. So then my brother, he was like, "Yo, I'm coming to your room. We watching SummerSlam." So right before it happens, he said, "She gonna turn on her sister." And it's always funny when you like watching wrestling and somebody call like something that you don't think about right then, like just that split second. And
Oh,
sure enough,
I definitely did that. WrestleMania 31, I called the Seth Rollins cash in before it happened.
oh, what made you?
And it made like it was like a watch party at our crib, and it made everyone pissed because they're like, why would it's like people are tired of Brock as champion. People do not like Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins has this thing. It's never happened before. What are the fucking odds? Vince is just like, you know what? Fuck it. And then when it happened, I just remember everyone looked at me in the room. I'm just sitting there like, yeah, I called that shit. You better catch it.
It was and I remember that WrestleMania vividly, not being hyped for it, because of the main event. I was like, I'm not gonna be. MJF did the scissor. Oh, he didn't scissor. He got problems with the Acclaim.
I wouldn't either because what the fucking shirt that Matt Caster is wearing is like wild sus. Like scissor me in bold caps with fucking scissors all over. Like, imagine wearing that in public and people who are not tapped into wrestling just being like, "What?"
Yeah, well, here's Kenny Omega. Well, AEW's getting interesting tonight. Kenny Omega. Why would they cut? Oh my goodness! Why would you? I'm sorry. The production person in me is like, why would you flip this camera? But you got a face off with Kenny Omega. And,
yeah, it's like, why would you cut away from this? Like, this is the first time you're seeing Kenny look at your champion.
But we're gonna jump back into some of these betrayals. China joining the corporation for the first time.
School me on that one, Brian.
1999, China. What was it? I Quit match. Triple H, The Rock on Monday Night Raw. The road to WrestleMania 15. Which, when you're a child, the road to WrestleMania or SummerSlam always felt like Christmas. It's like, are we ever going to get there? You know what I mean? You sitting back, you anticipating. I guess now because we got to pay for it, so we're counting paychecks until. But then as a child, I was like, man, and so this particular Monday Night Raw, I vividly, because this was around the time my grandmother would give me the tapes, and I don't think nobody told me what happened on Raw. Like if it would have been Brother Hugh, and I don't think they told me. So I'm watching, and I remember The Rock is about to. Triple H is about to pedigree The Rock through the table, and just before he pedigree, Kane is holding China up, and they said, "All right, fine, break her neck." And they said, "All right, forget it." And Triple H says he quits, and then China hits him with a low blow, joins the corporation, which I hated it then. Of course, I'm Team DX. I want Triple H. I wanted him to win the title. You know, when you're a child, you just want to see
you want things to stay the same.
Well, you want the good guy to win,
right?
Yeah. So like, I wanted, even though I wanted Austin to become champion at WrestleMania, I wanted Triple H to beat The Rock that night. But it didn't happen. I think we got a world title match at Collision. Omega and MJF.
Yep, sure do.
Saturday night.
Good. I plan on staying in the house
Saturday night.
Yeah, I plan on staying in the house this weekend anyway. So great, absolutely.
Nah, there's too much going on this weekend for me, but I will record this.
Damn, you would have thought your name was KRISTA B.
But yeah,
so not more than me, Justin. I'm proud of you.
KRISTA, where was you? China turns on the corporation. I mean, joining the corporation ahead of WrestleMania 15.
That was what, 99, 2000?
99.
I know I was watching because I ain't do shit else. I did watch it. I was definitely watching it. I vaguely remember it. Like you like doing it now, saying it now. I'm like, oh, okay. But at the time, just like I do remember like it happening, and I'm just like, oh shit, like what the fuck? Like what is China doing? Like what happened? I'm so confused. Like why are we here? But then Triple H goes and join afterwards, and I'm just like, all right.
Yeah. And then the last one, we talked about Bayley and Sasha earlier. When Max Dupree turned on his sister and the models, I was sad. Oh, Noah is hilarious. I didn't know anybody rock with Max Dupree. It's funny because I was putting together a video for Cheap Heat, and it was about LA Knight, and I found the clip when he was Max Dupree to put it in there, and I was like, it's funny. And then I saw the clip when he said, "I'm no longer this, I'm LA Knight."
LA Knight was Max Dupree.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And that was recent. It's not like it's. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting. Andre says Stephanie also turned on Vincent Shane, announced that she owned ECW during the invasion angle. They came out, laughed at her dad, and walked to the ring. First of all, she looked good when she did that.
I don't know. I mean, that's kind of a betrayal. Yeah.
But you remember that look on Vince's face? Like, and that's the thing about the McMahons. When they on TV, they are like, who's better?
Acting their asses.
Yeah. Yo, side note, crazy rumor story. You know how like everybody's heard these like crazy rumors in wrestling. I'll never forget one day we in church at Sunday school, and my god brother Marlon says, "Yo, that's not the real Stephanie McMahon." I said, "What are you talking about?" "Yo, that's not his real daughter. They got an actor because the real daughter can't act."
Oh,
what? It's like, sometimes like back in the day when there was like no internet, you either decide to believe or not. I remember
I for sure thought that Undertaker and King were for real brothers. And
I mean, how great was that story?
That was amazing.
Shout out to Janelle from HR from the Job and Tears podcast. Calls it the greatest story ever told.
It is.
I don't know. It's one that we in right now.
You know what other betrayal? Maybe this was like a boomerang betrayal. It was when Vince revealed himself as the higher power.
Yes.
Set up the whole thing. Still saying he's in charge or whatever. Stephanie and Linda come out saying that they, they sold their stake in the company. That was the following week.
It come on earlier that day, Noah.
Yeah, the PLA comes on that afternoon, and then the anniversary party is after.
Yeah, that comes on at 1. So no,
we might be celebrating the LA Knight Championship win.
No.
If we do,
no.
I want to see Noah in the boots. I want to see him in the LA Knight special.
Listen, nobody is allowed to come into Brooklyn
the Target Tims
with Target Tims on and choking them shits. No one's allowed to do that. No, and not in Flatbush. No, not in Flatbush.
Yes, I call them Target Tims.
Those are Target Tims.
Well, those Funkmaster Flex joints,
don't wear black
nasties.
The lugs. You know what's crazy? He was at work today. I should have asked him. I definitely forgot Justin. I'm sorry.
Funkmaster Flex night.
Oh,
yeah. Come on, Jay Leno. Anyway, David Letterman.
You said, my bad. You was talking about
Yes. So, Vince reveals himself as the higher power. Stephanie and Linda's at the top of the stage, and they're in the ring going at banter. The following week, the following week, they're all in the ring again. Stephanie and Linda at the top. So they're talking about how Vince betrayed Stephanie and Linda. So they got their lick back and betrayed Shane and Vince by having a corporate meeting with all the head people, selling their stake, coming together, selling their stake, and making Stone Cold Steve Austin in charge.
Yo, was that not good shit?
That's a boomerang betrayal right there. That's it.
That was like right there. Hook is on.
You talk about a boomerang betrayal that ended up backfiring. One that comes to mind, I think this is another reason why I don't like Triple H. I think of SummerSlam, Daniel Bryan, John Cena. Daniel Bryan wins the title. Triple H turns on Daniel Bryan. Randy Orton cashes in. The beginning of the Authority and the beginning of the Yes movement. That would boomerang back till WrestleMania 30, where Bryan has to go through said Triple H to get to the main event and beat his ass in the first match at WrestleMania 30, setting the tone for the America of Bourbon Street.
Yeah, I hated that. Just
But
like this
yeah,
one.
man, Triple H, I was like, you motherfucker. This is why I never liked you. This is why I never trusted you. You ain't shit. That beard is not.
Yo,
But
Yeah,
Randy Orton, I mean, no, it wasn't Randy Orton. I'm sorry, that was Batista. Who did
nah,
that?
when
No,
you did
somebody,
the
Andre put the thumbs down in the comments. It was like, if
he
you know,
saw
you
the
know. That was definitely.
oh yeah, RVD is on.
Yeah, I know I love him.
Yeah,
We got
shout
the
out
same
to
hairstyle
RVD.
today.
He cool. He mad cool.
Love Rob Van Dam.
But so when Triple H turned on Randy Orton after he won the world title, I kind of saw it coming. They kind of planted a seed the year before. If y'all remember the Elimination Chamber at the 2003 SummerSlam, when Randy Orton basically said, like, the Triple H, like, what if you get eliminated? He's like, I won't. Your job is to make sure I'm protected in this match, because Randy Orton was also contending for the title. So it's kind of like, yo, this kid might get out of hand. But I want to touch on the career of Randy Orton. When you look at the body of work, and there's rumors that he may be back soon.
Can't wait.
Is he not like the LeBron James of pro wrestling? Somebody who kind of had like a lot of like buzz, like, okay, this is a guy. You know, if when he signed, it was kind of like he's going to be the guy to lead the company, and you saw it. John Cena, Jim Ross says it, but I didn't think rapping John Cena was going to be that guy. I didn't feel like they presented him as that guy, I should say. I feel like, not rapping John Cena, the prototype. When Randy Orton came in before he joined Evolution, the way they presented him, the way they showed what he looked like, and him running around there flirting, you felt like, okay, this kid he's got the look, he's got the skill set. He just need to find his character. But you kind of felt like they're gonna work with him to get him there. Would you say that he's still, with all that, exceeded expectations?
Yeah. For Randy,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, absolutely. Randy took that, got injured, came like he kind of pulled a Rock. Remember, Rock came, really wasn't like Randy came, really wasn't like. They were definitely generational superstars. They were both third generation superstars.
I'm sorry, this was funny. Jimmy Judas Iscariot Uso.
Not Iscariot.
Iscariot?
Oh,
y'all Bibles today, huh?
Right. He called him Judas Iscariot, not the whole name.
Judas Iscariot. Oh,
first of all, I ain't heard the whole name since Catholic school.
Okay.
That man said Shadrach, Meshach, and a Judas.
And the Judas.
Oh man.
I promise you, if we read that scripture in church on Sunday, I'm texting y'all. It happened. It happened. Yeah, so they both come from wrestling royalty, the Ortons, the Maivia Johnsons, and they weren't like when they first came about. Then they came back after injury. They started to, be in their own, started to hone their craft, whatever, and then they just go and break out that box or whatever. For Rock, it was joining. Yeah, it was corporate. The corporation then turns to corporate ministry or whatever. He joined that. Then he started to go on his own, started to talk on the mic. For Randy, it was him being in factions among factions, and then he went crazy. He really just, I didn't give a F. I don't give a F. I'm not going to give a F. And that's it. And it's like
he got high with Riddle.
Then he got
he got a contact high with Riddle.
Yeah, I said hi to Riddle one day, and it was a wrap. Well, all right.
So Noah brings up, we talked about Triple H turning on Randy Orton, but then afterwards, Batista turned on Triple H because he knew Triple H was going to turn on him eventually. It really made Batista the guy. The whole evolution ending was a masterpiece, not going to lie. At this point, I like Batista. I didn't like him afterwards. Like, I just felt he was like, ugh. But this was funny. And I was happy because it was just like, at that point, it was like anybody but Triple H. He was tired of him holding the title. It was so annoying, and it was like his promo, like at least Roman, the kids get hate, but Roman cuts good promos and the story. And like, he got that you want to be him attitude.
But it took Roman a while to get there because we all know
No, that
Suffering succotash.
suffering succotash.
didn't happen. We're talking
Oh,
about the
that was
chief.
the Flash. All right, I'll be right back anyway. Go ahead, y'all be great.
This is the tribal chief, the one that's in the background. But you sit back and you see like Batista, like that was I really enjoyed that turn. Justin, where was you when that happened? Was you watching?
Which one was this?
With Batista and thumbs down?
I don't think I was watching, but I've gone back and seen it and be like, that was a cool turn.
Yeah. Oh, see, this what I'm talking about right here. This moment stayed in my phone. The video might still be in my phone.
This I definitely remember watching this Raw and just being like, what the hell? And then all of a sudden, like 2 minutes later, what the fuck?
Well,
like Triple H coming in and costing Roman was one thing. Triple H continuing to go on his rampage and costing Seth for KO was like a what the fuck. And then the whole like, I'm taking this title off of Foley's shoulder while Foley's fucking giving me attitude. And Stephanie's just like, what the hell, babe? Like that was like a really cool moment.
The thing about this, I'm about to tweet that out. The thing about this moment too was I was happy because KO got the belt. Watching this guy come from Ring of Honor, and I was at a lot of those shows during his lead up to taking the title from Davey Richards, being there at the Du Burns Arena in Baltimore, and seeing his run, to see my guy go from there to WWE Universal Champion. And let's be real, at that time, the Universal Champion didn't feel like the way it do now. It still felt like you really are a world champ. You really are the guy, but it's still like if they would have called it off the gate World Heavyweight title, we wouldn't have felt that way. You still had to get used to the name. I don't know if you felt the same way, but like for me, when Balor became champion and the week before or 2 weeks before, it didn't feel like top of the company status yet.
Well, because it was a new title and they had to build it up to its equivalent, but still, I treated KO. You're on the flagship show. You're holding the top title. It was treated as a big deal because Triple H got fucking involved, and you had Roman, and you had Seth, and I forget who the fourth person was in that match, but it was just a hell yeah moment because it was like
they got him out of there early, if you remember. Big Cass, that was like get the feet wet with some main eventers.
that was Vince being Vince and like I love big guys and big pythons and da 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 da. But it was like KO was the opposite, the antithesis of what Vince always goes for. Like even like if you're not a typical Vince guy, which is just like 6'3", looking like a linebacker, can talk on a mic and stuff like that. Like KO, given that he's always been the gift of gab and can talk on a mic, but like physically, he's like the opposite of what Vince goes for. Like even if you're not his type, like a Shawn Michaels or a Bret Hart, you still physically like have a presence. Even like Daniel Bryan, KO was like, you look like one of the IWC, and that's something like Vince will be like, what the fuck? Like I'm doing midnight workouts. You look like you at McDonald's at like midnight.
Yeah,
but KO was our guy, and for them to put the title on him at that time and give him a really good run on top of that, it wasn't just he won the title. It was like, bro, you got to feud with Seth. You got to feud with Roman. You got to beat both of them. If not for fucking Brock Lesnar and Goldberg, you probably walk into Mania as champion because you and Chris Jericho had the hottest feud going in WrestleMania 33.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the part. And you understand it from a business standpoint, but that part really sucked. Because that should have been KO's WrestleMania. Like KO Mania 3 should have been. I mean, let's be real, he wouldn't have main evented the show because at the time Taker was probably supposed to retire and put Roman over. But yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's what like you said, like if you understand the business side, you get it. You know how much Vince loves Brock. You know how much Vince is invested in Goldberg. This is the only time Goldberg's ever been champion. This is the one thing Goldberg actually really, really wanted was to be champion. So his kid could see him be champ. And the powers that be because, Billy answers to, besides skis, Billy answers to shareholders and fucking investors and advertisers and network execs and all that. And they love them some Brock. They probably love them some Goldberg. They probably don't love some Kevin Owens. They're probably like, who the fuck is that? Why is he your top champion?
True.
Wait, it says I think he mean
Shawn Michaels started out HBK.
turning on Hogan.
So what is it like pre-back injury Shawn turning on post-back injury Shawn?
Goodness gracious, I hated that moment. I was like, I felt like I had just got home from work because it was 4th of July. So, and this was when I was selling cars, and I remember that day just because that was the first time I sold 2 cars in a day. And
she had a good day.
Okay.
Yeah, sort of.
Cool.
Back then, that job was a get over because it wasn't like your typical car salesman job. But I see like, all right, they teaming up, and then Shawn Michaels do we did. I said, here we go, barbershop again. Like, really, dude, but it led us to that WrestleMania match and the sell job, which was one of the greatest gifts. Shout out to where's it? Oh, I was trying to put it. Oh yeah, okay. I was wanting to give a shout out to Ace Goodheart Nightfire for jumping in. Andre said, "Can we talk about how many times Kane got betrayed?"
They shitted on Kane a lot. X-Pac or Undertaker.
China. Well, Undertaker, Paul Bear, like you said, X-Pac. Well, China, X-Pac, Tori.
Mm-hmm.
We got some more. Corporation.
The whole DX.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't see Kane the gimmick. They saw Glenn Jacobs the person. They're like, man, fuck this guy.
Yeah, I was watching one back when they were. I was watching an episode when DX was in the ring gloating, and sorry to say, listening back to Stephanie's voice back then, super annoying. She didn't know how to talk on the mic at all because it's like she was yelling into the mic. Mm-hmm. But I remember she had called Kane the big red retard, and I'm like, we can't say that on TV. Like,
I know you couldn't say that back then because that was his
they
nickname.
said it back then. You can't say that now.
Oh, she said it recently?
No, this was
I'm sorry.
Yeah. And I was like,
yeah, you can't let that R word fly in 2023. 2003, yeah, we got away with a lot of shit back then.
I was so mortified. I was like, they didn't even blink this out at all. Like, not even in the edits, because y'all want to blank out everything else or amplify everything else. So why not do this? Like, but DX definitely betrayed Kane. X-Pac numerous of times. Taker. I feel like Taker and Kane's, they boomeranged with betrayal on each other.
Yeah.
One minute they fighting each other, next minute baby, that's my brother. Like, and I know they took that as a sibling rivalry thing. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Let us know if y'all have any more as we get down to the wire. It's been a great show.
Oh, Kane turning on RVD.
Oh, yeah, when he took the mask off.
Took the mask off, chokeslammed him, and that was it.
Speaking of turns and stuff, did y'all watch the series WWE Evil? That's when you see how like they put that together. First of all, that's when I learned the explanation of Kane not having all the stuff on his face. Now, I don't know if they ever explained that on WWE TV because I felt like I never heard it. And they said like, oh, Kane never was burnt. He was just like psychologically.
He got ski in his face. How else do you explain that shit?
With that being said.
Is it safe to come out now?
Huh?
I said, is it safe to come out now? Because
well, we're gonna watch this as a family. What y'all think? Sting is about to get his gift.
I'm trying to put it on, but my TV acted up.
And I can't, we're not about to get the stream shut down.
No,
Sting is walking down to the ring. I was looking at some old
people
videos.
are monetized and trying to get monetized. We ain't trying to fuck up the church's money.
Oh yeah, Lita turned on him. Lita turned on Kane. Yeah, because you joined Matt Hardy, right?
No.
Remember that wedding?
Ed. It was Ed.
Yeah, I'm tripping. Yeah.
Since you brought up fucking Matt Hardy, remember when Matt turned on Jeff? Jeff was fucking WWE champion, pulled up to Royal Rumble, and Matt cracked him in the head.
He just said it.
Oh my God. I've hated Matt Hardy for a while because it's like finally we get Jeff Hardy as a fucking champion. For next pay-per-view, Royal Rumble.
It's always the ones closest to you. It's always.
And he cold clocks Jeff too. That one just like bang, top of the head. And it's just like, you motherfucker. The
That
one
shocked
time we
me.
finally get Jeff actually behaving, Jeff becoming champion, and Matt had to fucking ruin that. Although I do like the
Matt
WrestleMania
backed
25 match,
into,
but that motherfucker.
It's Matt's fault why Jeff didn't fell off the wagon again. Because no. You know what betrayal I just thought about?
No.
That's never happening because I won't allow that to happen.
That would never happen.
Never in life.
I will call the WWE. What's his name? The therapist dude that Bayley and
Dr.
Sasha
Shelby.
saw and everyone. Yes,
Dr. Shelby.
We're calling Dr. Shelby. If all else fails and the family can't get them together, it'll be like, nah, Dr. Shelby,
That
get your
would
ass in here.
never ever happen. So you know what betrayal hurts?
What's on your heart?
Dean Ambrose turning on Seth Rollins after Roman Reigns talks about him being diagnosed with cancer.
Oh,
yeah.
That same night.
And Dean said they wanted him to say some crazy shit.
Yeah, they wanted him to say some crazy shit.
He wouldn't
He
tell
was
us
like,
what it is. I kind of want to know if he put it in his book.
I think he did because he talked about it on Jericho's podcast. So I think he did put it in his book. But yeah, no, I was just like go. I remember I was on the train coming home, and P is like, "Oh my God, no!" And I'm like, "What's going on?" She was like, "You not watching this? I'm on a train." Tell me, she was like, "Roman is out because he has leukemia. His leukemia came back." I said, "His what now? What? He had cancer before?" So everybody's texting me. So I'm going home. I'm watching. And I'm literally on the verge of tears because they keep playing the replay from earlier. You see Seth come out crying.
Yeah.
And then Seth is like, "No, don't do this tonight. Don't do this tonight" to Dean. And he fucking turned on him. And I'm just like,
yeah.
Like, Vince, what the my exact question was, Vince, what the fuck is wrong with you?
A lot of things. That's why Vince is not seeing heaven.
Yeah, he's not.
I ain't in that one. But I'll tell you one that a betrayal that happened, actually two, that made me follow these people. And if you know me, you know they're my two favorite wrestlers, 1 and 1A, or 1A, 1B. That was when Hogan joined the NWO. Ric Flair!
Shut up, Brian, because I didn't even get there yet.
I forgot.
Yeah, Brian beat me by like 5 seconds, but
I just heard the music. I ain't see him.
Sting's face is hilarious, though.
How did I kind of knew. I was like, he's gonna be on here. It's got to be. I'm not surprised.
It's got to be Ric Flair. Like, it's got to be Sting.
Yeah, Sting's face is like, this motherfucker is still alive.
You can't tell the story of Sting without Ric Flair.
Without Ric Flair, that's true. You can't.
Like, you can say Flair's greatest matches.
KRISTA, you see it now, right? You see how blinged out fucking Flair is?
I need a Ric Flair chain. Like, I need Ric Flair to personally, when he comes to my job, because I know he's coming sometime soon, and give me one of his chains. And I can say, the Nature Boy Ric Flair gave me this, and I am never taking it off.
I can always say, and go to my fucking grave, WrestleMania 38, when we went to the after parties, and I remember night 2, I got a drink at the bar, and right next to me, as I'm getting the drinks at the bar for Issa and them, is fucking Ric Flair throwing back a shot.
I saw Ric Flair at the airport. I was getting out my cab, and I was like, "Oh my God, there's Ric Flair." No, my cab was pulling over. He was getting. I was like, "That's Ric Flair." The cab driver stops looking at the road and looks backwards. I said, hello. Can we pull over first?" And then he was right behind me.
It's like, bro, I grew up with you, and not only are you like, I'm not even arm's length, like I'm fucking next to you.
Right. I was like, "Hey, Nate," and he goes, "Hi, baby girl," and we just went separate ways. I'm like, "Oh my God, I spoke to fucking Ric Flair," and that's when he had the black eye after that match he had at that other promotion.
He looks
Rick's
good.
Gonna cry. Like, we don't need Ric Flair crying.
I mean, Rick always cries.
Yeah, Rick cries. Dean, John bleeds.
This is first time on AEW TV.
I think I want to say he's been on there before, but it's been a long time.
I feel like he has.
No, this is his first time. And I don't even watch AEW like that, y'all. Come on.
Chat. If we're wrong, let us know. Is this the first time Ric Flair has
Wealth
pulled to
Warrior
AEW?
just said, "Yep."
Oh.
Wow.
Oh yeah, because the Andrade tag team shit, that wasn't AEW sank. That was something
Right.
else.
It was just that Ric Flair's last match.
Yeah, so then this would be the first because Rick has always been pro, Charlotte and doing shit with WWE and working with that.
Wow.
Ric Flair was actually trending today on Twitter.
I hope it's for something good and not for
I
shenanigans.
think it was just him, like his match, like 23 years ago yesterday, or the 23rd. He lost to Hogan at Halloween Havoc, so they played that match on Twitter.
Halloween
Such a good match.
I didn't grow up in WCW, but whoever does the fucking video packages, like,
yeah,
shout out to you, because that's forever and all. Like, as a kid, that's ingrained in my head that when Halloween Havoc comes up, it's now you gotta say it like you did it. The little it's WCW Halloween Havoc. Like he said it in a distinct way where it's just like
that sent chills. That was
that
was real, like sinister, getting ready for Halloween ish. That was good, Justin. That was good.
The things that you remember as a kid, where it's like
child,
that's
right?
sticking with me. Yep.
Now he got to turn on Sting. If you're doing a show on Betrayals, he got.
No, Justin, Brian, no.
I'm saying he should. This didn't happen.
I don't want to see Sting. I mean, Rick wrestle anything, no bumps. I know you don't take a bump,
Sting
but
wrestle.
Sting can actually wrestle.
I will punch you in the face.
Brian, you got one more time, and then, damn, he's got the fucking controls. Otherwise, we kick him out. You got one more.
No, I can control it. I sure can.
Yellow card. You're being cautioned.
Right.
Don't make it get the red card.
The greatest AEW superstars on television.
Oh,
shit.
So, I mean, Edge got it. I mean, Adam.
But this was a lot of fun as we talked about some of the I'm sorry, he did it again. All right, let me close. We will close out so we can finish watching this. But yeah, great. Thank you everybody for jumping in the chat. Thank you for all our VIPs. Y'all know we got to order and how we get out of here. So let's go.
We do. And it goes like this. You can find me on all social media platforms at It's Justin Rich. You can find me here Wednesday nights live on Those Wrestling Girls Twitch channel for TWG Fan Club. Myself, Brian H. P, we love you. Seindole, we love you. KRISTA, thank you for pulling up with these amazing, beautiful, illustrious co-hosts of mine. You can catch me Tuesday nights, Twitter Spaces, 6:35 p.m. for Turnbuckle Talk with me and Corey, where we talk all things wrestling on Black Wrestling's handles. You can catch me time on True Heat Sports and True Heat Wrestling. Both those channels are located on YouTube, where we talk sports, wrestling, and all that fun stuff. We here, we outside, we active. Do not betray thee, or we will call Dr. Shelby.
You heard what he said. You can catch me at Brian H. Waters on all social media platforms. Make sure you check out today's episode of Wednesday Worldwide, where we talked about, we had a lot of people in the hotline booking Roman Reigns to pass Bruno, pass Hogan. They gave their hot takes. We responded to them, and they even had a hot take that included Dom Mysterio winning the WWE World Heavyweight title and trading on Rey Mysterio after getting ready for that championship. So tune in to see how we reacted to that. Make sure you check out tonight, the Wrestling Realm, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We are talking about TNA returning and doing a Halloween Havoc recap. Make sure for all the particulars, y'all know right here, TWG Fan Club each and every week. Make sure y'all support Those Wrestling Girls, CRISTA B, Queen PR. They do a phenomenal job with this brand as we get ready to celebrate 5 years. And I cannot wait for the party. It's going to be the greatest one. Trust me when I tell you. All love to Queen PR, our host who drives everything and makes sure we are set in stone. The professor, as she makes sure the class is in session. We can't wait till she's back in the chair next week. Shout out to Seindole. We can't wait for her. CRISTA B, take us home.
As you all know, it's your girl, CRISTA B, from one half of Those Wrestling Girls. Shout out to Brian and Justin, thank you guys for having me on. Shout out to my other half, my dynamic duo, my better half, Miss Queen PR. Love you, sis. Shout out to Seindole. Shout out to the crew. Shout out to Pablo. Shout out to CRISTINA. Don't miss out November 4th. Make sure you get your tickets. Right now, they're only $20. It's go to our links in our bios on our Instagram and our Twitter. Purchase your tickets. As Brian said, it's going to be a movie. You don't want to miss it. And as I said, because I said what I said, we are not doing any social recaps. If y'all miss it, y'all miss it. And that's that on that. Please make sure you follow us everywhere. We're streaming everywhere. Those Wrestling Girls, TWG. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube, our Patreon, follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. Just follow us everywhere. Follow us everywhere. Make sure you stay tuned for updates. On that note, it's your girl, Miss KRISTA B, Miss MS_KRISTAB_. That's the Instagram. And Miss MS_KRISTAB on Twitter. On that note, it's your girl, KRISTA B. And I'm out of here.